6-8. 17-11. Crap. Good out. 7-10, 8-15.
You're hot. It's 3C2A men's and women's soccer here on SoCalCollegeSports.com and Bay Area Sports Network. We turn to the nightcaps. It's Mount San Antonio College taking on American River. The Lady Mounties dispatched by Hartnell. Hartnell moves on to the final on Sunday. They will play Cypress. And now Mount SAC and American River will play for a chance to compete on Sunday as well at 2 p.m. They will take on the winner of Hartnell El Camino on our opposite field. Happy you've joined us, everyone. Spread the word, www.SoCalCollegeSports.com. Also on YouTube, SoCal College Sports 1. Also on Bay Area Sports Network and on the 3C2A website, CCCAA sports.org. All set and ready to go here from Walnut. It was Hartnell moving on by a final score of 2-1 in our previous match. And now the Mounties for the men will look to preserve home field advantage on Sunday. We're almost set and ready to go. Starting for American River, it's Gerardo Perez Plata, Ethan Benvenuti, Chris Alvarez, Zach Dye, Adrian Galeana, Roberto Carlos Plasencia, Kyle Prusia, Oscar Cisneros, Dominic Verdi, Riley Wilm, and Alex Limon Espinosa. For Mount SAC, Damian Esparza, Jose Martinez, Gabriel Arredondo, Travis Piceno, Edward Castro, Paul Inuguez, Emiliano Gutierrez, Andrew Vasquez, Sean Romo, Alex Mendez, and Matt Palos. In goal, Jose Martinez. For Mount SAC, in the black, ARC in the red, and we are underway here from Walnut. Have you, Joe Hickey standing by. Joe, are you there?
Indeed I am.
Mike Cepeda, Joe Hickey with you on tonight's coverage of 3C2A Men's Soccer Championship in the 3C2A Semifinal Friday. Just underway here in the first half. Physical play on the near side initiated by Mount SAC. Looks like that was Castro. And Joe, you and I both had extensive talks with Coach Juan Carlos Sanchez for Mount San Antonio College throughout the week in our preparation for this weekend's matches. And, you know, this is a gritty bunch and two losses on the season. One to a Texas team that many think is the best team in the nation at this level, and Cerritos, who's no slouch themselves.
Yeah, maybe a little bit of an off year for Cerritos, both on the men's side and the women's side, in terms of getting their way to the Final Four, but always going to give you a game. And yeah, you're looking now at a team that's fifth in the state in scoring, fifth stingiest defense, and the best defense remaining here in this men's tournament.
That's an interception there early. That's Verdi. Verdi, ball played back to Prussia. Played to the far side. It's a nice move to free themselves up. This can be a corner for ARC.
And a good switch of the point of attack there by Prussia, who is the team's assist leader.
So we're going to have a corner kick here. And that one in, not much doing there. No score early. Mount SAC. Excuse me. Looks like we have the incorrect name on the scoreboard. Excuse us. American River. Located just outside of Sacramento. Sacramento area up north. Joe Hickey joining us from the north.
Indeed, yeah. Lone Big 8 team in this tournament here. Usually Big 8 certainly not as much a fixture in the men's side of things, but very frequently sends one or two teams to the women's side. ARC, a bit of a surprise package to wind up in Walnut this year. Hadn't been in the playoffs for a while leading up to 2019, and they were only the 10th seed coming into this year's tournament. But there's been absolute bracket carnage in the North. Just in the first round, the number 2, 3, 5, and 7 seeds all fell. And then number 6 was gone in the second round. And the result was this 10-seed team, hot at the right time, actually got to host its second and third round games due to just everyone falling all around them.
Played back the other way. Well, last game we saw Hartnell utilize a counterattack, and early on looks like ARC going to try to employ those same type of tactics, although it's going to be easier said than done against a very good and adept and well-coached Mountie squad.
Yeah, the Mounties, as you said, coming in with just 2 losses on the season and 14 multi-goal wins. Definitely a kind of side that can run you right out of a game. And Coach Sanchez is just proud in general of the existence of creators pretty much everywhere on this field. They recruit specifically for their system, and his idea is if you're going to stop our wing players, which is where we want it, then you're going to have to deal with our 9. If you can't deal with our 9, or if you can deal with our 9, here comes our 10. And if all that's clogged up, as ARC might well decide to do to try to string this along at 0-0 for as long as possible, they've even got outside backs that really like to get involved.
Mount SAC trying to play it in, looking to squeak a ball through a pinhole. Ball played back. Palos had it momentarily, and Mount SAC maintains possession. Palos gives off to Mendez. Mendez plays it forward, and ARC holds it on the back line. Looking to clear, but they won't be able to do so here. Well, much like what we saw early on in the women's game, both teams kind of feeling each other out.
Yeah, admittedly, that one sprang to life rather rapidly during the probably the 7th through roughly 27th.
And here we have Mount SAC coming free, crossing ball. This is a dangerous one for the Mounties in a prime position, and a flick in, and just a little bit long off of the boot of Paul Inuguez.
Yeah, Paul Inuguez, one of the handful of players on this roster that participated in the 2019 state final, a game that Mount SAC fell 2-0 to Fresno in, that being played up in Cupertino 2 years back.
I believe you were on the call for that.
Yep.
You and Jeff Stoynoff. Jeff with the call on the adjacent field here on the soccer campus, if you will, for Mount San Antonio College. Beautiful facility here in Walnut. It's an embarrassment of riches here in terms of facilities for the Mounties when you talk about this one and their new Hilmer Lodge state-of-the-art facility for their football program and track programs as well. That went off of the chest of a defensive player for ARC. It was a hot shot, but blocked.
Off the boot there of Alex Mendez, and he's one of those guys here, really intense competitor on this team. The only thing he has to do is make sure that he doesn't get a little too hot in the head or a little too hot under the collar. He does lead the team in yellow cards, had to sit out of one of the playoffs as a result of a suspension for accumulation.
It's a ball that gets into the box, and they're not going to whistle that a foul.
Good strong work there from Andre Ramos, the freshman defender out of Cathedral. Coach Sanchez calls him the rock of the center defense. Somebody who started every match but one, has a pair of assists on the season as well. Over the far sideline, ARC earning a throw. Matt Palos in there trying to attack as the ball gets served up the right wing. Good work there by the two, Damian Esparza, some of his first action. Close that off, earn Mount SAC the throw. Toss comes up the line, knotted on. ARC looking to control and play that back into their back line. 21, Alex Limon Espinosa on that. Going route one up the right side in search of the wing. Esparza, nice and strong. Ping pong continues here in the midfield. Hot shot stopped nicely by Mendez, and it's a great through ball up the gut for Edward Castro. Goalkeepers come out, and great strong work there by Gerardo Perez Plata. We'll get a look here at the replay. Mendez, the stop was fantastic. The feed perfectly weighted, and Castro just barely closed down there by the freshman goalkeeper. Has the most saves this year in the Big 8, tied for 10th in California. That one doesn't go down as one, but it sure feels like it.
Gerardo Perez Plata, goalkeeper for ARC here today. Makes a nice play on that one to keep the score 0-0. A whistle and a bit of a cheapie there. Mount SAC will now have possession. About 10 minutes gone by here in the first half. Mike Cepeda, Joe Hickey with you on today's coverage. SoCalCollegeSports.com in collaboration with Bay Area Sports, BAOSN. And there's a tricky ball and near disaster for ARC. One gets through, and that's a terrific through ball on the far side. It looked like that was Paul Iniguez.
And there's the nutmeg there over by the sideline to get room. Good box organization. The only thing kind of missing is the closure over at the far post there from Anthony Vargas.
Yeah, and Ed Castro unable to get a header on it. It's going to be a corner. So set piece coming for the Mounties. And Castro, an interesting player. He plays for the under-20 team of Guatemala. And he missed the game prior to Thanksgiving, playoff game, and then able to make it back. Comes back on Thanksgiving, and he's a key contributor for this Mountie squad. Another
Indeed,
dangerous ball. Look for the back post, and that one not there. And wow, Mounties really ratcheting up the pressure here.
Good curl on that ball from Alex Mendez there.
Yeah, was that Mendez again with a nice ball to set things up for the Mounties.
Yeah, Mendez so far on the season, a pair of regulation goals against Santa Ana. That game interesting. It looks a lot more looks like a lot more dominant of a performance for Mount Sac than it truly was. They won it 5-2, but that was in extra time. They actually needed a goal late there in the 87th minute from Mendez in order to tie it and send it to that extra time period. So, but by the grace of a late equalizer, go they.
Yeah, and the final score indicative of just how explosive this offense can be. They force extras and then able to win it 5-2.
Absolutely, yeah. There was basically an opening of the floodgates after Jason Garcia picked up a goal in the 104th. Iniguez followed 3 minutes later, and Garcia got himself a brace 3 minutes after that.
This broadcast being brought to you in part by Select Ball Manufacturers, and they have made a custom ball for the 3C2A for this year's event. First time that's ever happened in the event's history, and looking to have a representative from Select on later in the tournament. Another great through ball. Mendez on the prowl. Wrong foots the keeper, and that one out of reach of what it looked to be. Well, I don't have a number here, Joe. I had 17, and it was at possibly Castro in the middle.
Yeah, I believe that was 11 there. There is a 17, but I don't think he's in the game. He's a defender.
Well, my eyes not exactly what they used to be. In fact, I just had my prescription changed here, so bear with me in the night lights.
Yeah, but indeed, as you said, managed to wrong foot the goalkeeper there, and then wrong footed his own teammate on this ball, just a little bit behind Castro as he tried to turn.
Castro in a pretty good spot, but unable to put a finish on it. Now the Mounties, here's Mendez again. And ARC, the Beavers, really on their heels early on in this one. It's a team that lost the game earlier in the season, 6-0. And they have righted the ship. Mendez giving go. Has a man. That's a great ball behind. And a shot on goal and a save. Perez Plata.
A rip from distance there from Anthony Vargas. First time with the left boot. Just sneaks it under the defender's leg there, Chris Alvarez.
That's a terrific shot. I wonder if we have that on the second camera here. We will. Back to live action. Looks like.
Not sure if that was on frame, but with that kind of pace on it, I don't think Perez Plata wanted to take any chances.
Yeah, you just never know. If it hits the gets the inside of the post, you know, it's 1-0.
Had a little bit of a knuckle to it as well.
It did. And you never know what way that's going to favor, and that one out of play from the Mounties, and we remain scoreless here in Mount Sac. The Mounties and American River on SoCalCollegeSports.com's continuing coverage of 3C2A Championship Weekend 2021 Soccer Edition. Happy you've joined us. Spread the word, www.SoCalCollegeSports.com. You can find all of the game links there. Also on our YouTube channel, SoCal College Sports 1. Mendez makes a move inside, taken down, and this will be a free kick in a dangerous spot. See Mendez making a move, crosses up his defender. And that's an easy call, and the pressure really forcing the issue for the Mounties.
So Mendez will float around a little bit in terms of position. He starts the season as an attacking midfielder. They've largely transitioned into a center forward, but they like to take advantage of that crafty passing. This time around, though, good footwork earns the big free kick.
Mendez and Iniguez. Standing by. Referee comes in and directs traffic. Who will it be, Iniguez or Mendez? Mendez takes it, lefty on goal, nearly on the doorstep. Castro had a chance.
Yeah, if that had wound up in the back of the net, I don't think Castro would have known too much about it. Punch straight into his knee.
So the score remains 0-0. And after the early opportunities for ARC, that the first 20 minutes or so, you have to come away pretty happy with the result. Still no score. Nice touch in the middle.
Yeah.
ARC now trying to counter, make a move, and Mount SAC quickly wins the ball back. Subtlety, such a hard to grasp craft when it comes to soccer, and those subtle touches you see at the highest level. And Mount SAC certainly does a great job emulating that and having balls that are easy to receive and put in a dangerous spot. Anthony Vargas.
Looking to get the outside backs a little bit involved here. Esparza.
Yeah. Damien. We've had some substitutions. Jose Martinez, Jason Garcia, Anthony Vargas, Andre Ramos onto the pitch right now. And Vargas with a shot on goal earlier in this one.
You saw just then it ended in a foul, but one of the big mindsets preached by Coach Juan Carlos Sanchez is this idea of just collapsing to the ball more or less as soon as you lose it. Very much popularized by Barcelona, the way they've always played under their coaches in the last handful of years. As it looks like we got a yellow card coming here, but
yellow is going to be given out to Castro, and I wonder if this is a play that maybe merited a play as such. That's
good.
I don't know.
Goes in there with 2 feet. I'm tough to tell whether he got ball on that, but the follow through I think is what gets him.
I mean, it's not spikes up. He just goes and he hits the ball first. Well, it's a tough yellow card if you're Jared Castro, but play on. Dangerous ball off a set piece, free kick, sent in by ARC, but quickly dodged by the Mounties, and the Mounties now with possession. Looks like we have a goal on the other side. Is it Hartnell up 1-0?
Oh, indeed. There it goes in.
Are you watching it there on another feed there?
No, I just saw it over the top of the. Again, I can see that back field here on the camera feed. So
it helps when you have a 40-inch screen.
And again, bangers only continues to be the order of the day. That was a lovely strike. Actually, very similar to the one Brianna Guerrero scored to give the Hartnell women the lead. And at almost the same point in the game.
Yeah,
I guess the question now is which Hartnell substitute is going to score right before halftime.
Well, if you're El Camino, you certainly don't want that to be the case. Mounties.
I got nothing against the Warriors. I just love symmetry.
Yeah, Hartnell up 1-0. ARC has been able to ward off the Mounties thus far in this one. A good shot.
Yeah.
On the near side.
Hartnell's side of that bracket. Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
Yeah, Hartnell's side of that bracket was mostly chalk by comparison to all the crazy stuff that was going on down where American River was located, but only an upset of Butte by Taft on PKs after a scoreless draw.
Another card coming out. And wait a minute, so this is going to go against ARC.
This time around, Zach Dye being shown. Looks like we may not have that one.
Interesting. Back to live action. Try to get that short up here for you. Meanwhile, it's the Mounties. That's a nice ball into the box, crossing into the middle. And that one in, golazo! And just like that, off of the boot of Paul Iniguez. Mount SAC on the board, 1-0.
Sophomore from Gary with his 5th goal of the season, sliding to tap home that assist from Matt Palos. And Palos continues to just have the postseason of his life. 5'2" engine of this Mount SAC attack. And that ball slid in, maybe takes a deflection, but from the penalty dot, Iniguez with a slide and deposits that.
Well, we have some issues with one of our cameras, but that's a great shot and a through ball there. Palos, Iniguez, Mount SAC, not to be denied that time, on the board.
Yeah, according to Coach Sanchez, Palos, as I said, a 5'2" player, doesn't really look like much out there, but battled 3 sophomores on his team in the midfield early in the season, dealt with injury, but has just put it together late. Had just a couple of assists coming into the postseason. He has now got an assist against Cyprus, a goal and an assist against Golden West, which was his first goal as a collegiate player, and now follows that up with an assist to take the lead here in the semifinal for the freshman out of Connections Academy. Mount SAC immediately looking to build again, but that one's going to get past the outstretched boot of the number 11, Ed Castro. Cranked deep here by Perez Plata. Brought down with the chest of Limon Espinosa.
Thank you, Joe.
Not a problem, and Dominic Verdi over there a little upset that they couldn't quite get their heads up and change the field. He had an awful lot of space there on the left.
Indeed. ARC now with possession, trailing 1-0. And this is a team in Mount SAC. Don't expect them to go into a defensive shell. They are not shy.
I mean, as we said, that game against Santa Ana, if that's any indication, you get the goal in extra time. You've got to protect your lead for 13 minutes. Well, yeah, best defense is apparently a good offense as far as Coach Sanchez is concerned.
That's exactly right, and took the words right out of my mouth.
Some cliches are cliches for a reason.
Oh, they work. Again, Mount SAC building. Vargas to the near side. That gets through. Castro trying to make something happen. Flicks it up. He's looking for a player coming through. Not going to have it that time. That's a nice idea.
Vargas there. Yeah, Vargas there, who initiated that action with the ball to the right side. He's the one making that screaming run through the 6-yard box, and I think he wanted a little something for a shove that sent him to ground.
I mean, the touches on these ball are pretty on point for Mount SAC early, and one of the reasons why they find themselves up 1-0. Off of the foot. Paul Iniguez.
Well, one of the things Coach Sanchez talked to me about when I had a chance to sit down with him is just that this team got a decent smack in the face at just the right time.
Yeah.
And could have come in very, very complacent, just 3 down results for the entire season. But they played a 2-2 draw against Long Beach Community College in the South Coast Conference tournament. and lost that one on penalties. And so to kind of be able to have the experience of going to PKs, kind of know what that feels like for you, to have to dig your way back into a game and then still have it, cruelly snatched away from you. He said that everything about the goal that kept them alive at Santa Ana felt like it was the direct result of what they had experienced against Long Beach.
If we have some time here, we're going to go back to the goal. Brought to you by Select. Palos again. Going back to the goal by Paul Iniguez, puts Mount SAC up 1-0.
Everything about that just gorgeous. That run from Palos to you earn the byline and pull it back. All sorts of wild stuff can happen.
Exactly right. Again, building for the Mounties, and a flick handled by Perez Plata.
Mendez trying to channel his inner Patrick Schick.
Huh. Who's your team, Joe? Come on, let's make some people mad in the soccer community.
The funny thing is, my team wouldn't have made very many people mad for a long time because it's this little provincial side in Italy, but they don't exist anymore. My team went out of business this summer after getting excluded from Serie B for not paying their taxes. Oof. So, rest in peace, Chievo. Resta in pace. Ciao.
You got a jersey?
I have an embarrassing number of jerseys. And every time I think, like, no, this is the last one. This is the one that will make me whole. I think I'm up to 8 now.
I do the same thing, but with bowling balls.
We've all got our thing.
It's true. 1-0 Mount SAC on top of American River. Semifinal Friday here in the 3C2A 2021 edition of the Soccer Championship. Hosted by Mount SAC. The Mounties sending both men's and women's squad to the finals.
Beavers looking to build their way back in. Long cross from the left side. Nearly got that over the brick wall of Andre Ramos. No such luck, though. I love the anticipation right there, too. The little fake of the quick restart, and you could see there the number 9, Travis Pisano, just into the game, sprinting into that space to try to intercept what could have just been an innocuous throw-in back to the goalkeeper. Situational awareness from this Mount SAC team just through the roof. ARC looking to push forward, stepping into the space and cutting it away as Ramos heads it forward for good measure, and now on the foot of Iniguez. Take it away, Mike.
Back to battle here, for me anyway. As the field mic gets turned on in addition to my microphone.
Tough sledding being the anchor and the producer.
Hey, the anchor is you, buddy. And how about a shout out to the facilities and everybody here. Joe Jenham, athletic director here at Mount SAC, really setting us up for success this week and allowing us to be in a position to bring you live coverage of 3C2A men's and women's soccer and the championship in the 3C2A. And well, he set us up with some internet, allowing Joe Hickey to be on the call. ARC in a dangerous spot here, trying to even things up at 1-1, and that ball thwarted out by the defense of the Mounties. Looks like Travis Piceno. Is it Piceno or Piceno? Did you hear from Coach
Pisano.
Sanchez? Piceno, okay.
Yeah, no small feat setting up to broadcast from a soccer field as a guy who does radio on a weekly basis. From there, it is where campus Wi-Fi signals go to die usually.
That's a fact. Well, we have a nice wireless system set up in place here, so able to make magic happen on the campus of Mount SAC. Looking forward to Saturday, and we are in talks to have a potential just an English and Spanish broadcast as the Mounties come free with some numbers. 3-on-3, and that ball behind, a takedown, bit of a collision, but no foul call. That would have been a nightmare for ARC, but they avert disaster momentarily.
And Mendez always going to ground after he got off balance, trying to pull that ball back just a little bit behind him.
I'd go to ground too, but that's because I have trouble with my balance. Time ticking down here in the first half.
And if I am seeing right on our feed, it does look like things have gotten positively pyrotechnic over the other field. That looks like a 2-1 result at the moment now.
Yeah, if you have the over-under, you're looking pretty good. Informational purposes only, of course. Played in the middle of the field, ARC with it. It's quite the run there for ARC, and they're trying to mount some pressure, give the Mounties a bit of their own medicine. But you see the deft touch by Mount SAC defensively, and now able to set up their offense.
That is beautiful.
Mounties with some room. Here comes the defense from the far side. And the double team. Ball forced out. It will stay with the Mounties in terms of possession, but that's a nice play made defensively by ARC to come back and put a cover. It looked like Piceno had some room to work.
Yeah, deft heel flick on the long ball forward. I think that was by Palos again. Popping up everywhere.
Palos with the assist on the first goal by Paul Iniguez. That ball out. They're going to rule that went off of Paul Iniguez. And ARC wins the battle there. Mount SAC gathers possession back fairly quickly. Well, ARC showed up in spots, but Mount SAC thoroughly dominating this first half. Double team there, and that was a pretty good job by Vargas keeping possession, able to get it out to Piceno, Arredondo. Now a chance to cross into the box for Mount SAC, headed out by American River.
You like the way they just sort of switched their positions there. Damien Esparza decides to creep a little bit further forward. You watch Iniguez just instinctively, okay, I've got to back off. We need cover here. Move very well as a unit.
That's exactly right. And, you expect that type of cohesion at this point in the year. A ball sent in from way downtown. That's Emiliano Gutierrez. Not much doing there, but keeping the defense honest. ARC trying to muster up some type of offense with possession now. And the defense pushes back. For Mount SAC, they take possession. Joe, what are you seeing here early on and throughout much of the first half from Mount SAC versus what ARC is trying to counter with? They have no answer.
Well, from what I can, so far, they've had a really tough time just holding on to possession, ARC have. And you can see right here, they're kind of playing a zonal look. They're not really looking to put pressure on the ball, and it's giving Mount SAC the time to just get their head up, find the spot they want to get it, and create these opportunities. Now, admittedly, it's only 1-0. And so it has, for all the chances that have been created, it's been largely successful on ARC's part. But in terms of trying to hold the ball, actually create some offensive opportunities for themselves, that 6 seconds or less pressure that we talked about, just trying to collapse as soon as Mount SAC loses the ball, has really paid off for them. They've had a very hard time holding on long enough to really put much of anything together. I think one of the reasons that we saw Dominic Verde at that one point just so frustrated at them not being able to spot the change in the point of attack. Finally,
Right.
there was some space opening.
Well, the ARC contingent has traveled well here. Down to Walnut. And this is a tall order and a steep hill. But it's not over until it's over. We certainly saw that in the Mount SAC Hartnell game, a game that could have easily been a lot more lopsided than it actually was, given the outcome, and credit to the goalkeeping ability of Mount San Antonio College. Peregrina, the name that comes to mind.
Yeah, there was a good 20 minutes of that game where it looked like it had pretty much gone to sleep. And then the late stoppage time goal there from Coronado opened things back up, made the Panthers sweat.
Bit of a bump there. Foul called on ARC. A little weak, but they elect to give it to Mount SAC, and the Mounties with possession.
I'm certain that the Mount San Antonio faithful will be happy to see a few after some of the against Hartnell with handballs being made.
Joe, you've cut out just a little bit here. I think the internet here is okay. Let me see if I can dial you back in. Joe, are you with us?
I think
American River now mounting up the pressure, trying to make something happen against this very stout defense for the Mounties. Up 1-0. This might just do it in terms of what they'll need for them to move on. But certainly Mount SAC would like a little insurance. Mounties with a beautiful ball on the near side. It's a ball that just absolutely stops on a dime, and ARC able to get to it first, but not without a bit of a sweat. Intercepted in the middle of the pitch. Mounties still with possession. Time ticking away here in the first half, and Mounties with a 1-0 lead. Vargas has it in the middle of the field. Special thanks again to Ontario Fury head coach Jimmy Nordberg coming on for the first half of the women's game. We certainly appreciate his insight, former head coach at UC Riverside. And now with the MASL. And the Fury of Ontario will have their preseason opener next Tuesday. You can catch that on YouTube. We have a chance.
I believe I am back in the house. Mike, can you hear me?
Joe Hickey.
There we go.
Back in the mix.
Nice combination here through the midfield.
Yeah, Vargas has been busy in the last few minutes. Plays it back. This is Palos. And Palos, as we saw on the assist to Iniguez to get the scoring started off, a dangerous player when he has the ball. Meanwhile, ball on the far side. This one sent through the middle of the top of the box. Nobody home, but still retained possession-wise by the Mounties.
9 men back behind the ball, maybe even 10 now. ARC seemingly right now with the mission to just try to get to halftime, still down 1-0, regroup, figure out what they can do to try to poke some holes in this rather stout Mountie defense.
Now, easier said than done. This has been quite the floodgate in terms of pressure in this first half for the Mounties. They have thoroughly dominated the time of possession game. Another beautiful ball to Vargas. Vargas centers it up looking for the back post. He has a recipient. Oh, that ball nearly there. Vargas able to track it down, but poked away by ARC. The Mounties still playing keep away here. Back to midfield, and we have a player down. It's Adrian Galeana. Mounties play on. Center one up. ARC trying to get the ball and clear it out of play and see if they can get injury timeout. They need to play it out. And they do exactly that. And we'll have the training staff able to tend to the injured player.
So I haven't had the chance to bring it up. I've been a little bit nonplussed as to how Adrian Galeana is playing today, because I do believe he had a red card in the 75th minute of the match against Casumnas River in the 3rd round.
I wonder if that's maybe a call that was overturned?
Must be.
Well, turn to our sponsors for this event. The 3C2A Sports.org. Sports fans, for the latest online news, statistics, and scores of community college athletic events, log on to the California Community College Athletic Association's official website, www.3c2asports.org. This site is your official source for news about community college athletics. That's www.3c2asports.org. And we'll see Galeana have to come off and helped off the field. Jostens is the official and exclusive provider of California Community College championship rings and awards. The 3C2A applauds Jostens in its continuing commitment to support California community colleges. Each year, Jostens provides medals and trophies to nearly 100 regional and state championship events sanctioned by the California Community College Athletic Association. An E-Team sponsor. As the official fundraising partner of the 3C2A, E-Team sponsor is proud to have raised over $6 million for athletics and looks forward to continued success. E-Team sponsor partners with 3C2A teams and foundations to provide the easiest fundraising experiences ever. The foundation of E-Team sponsor was built by developing relationships with coaches, athletic directors, and athletic programs nationwide. As former student athletes, coaches, and administrators, they've developed a team approach to fundraising. Their comprehensive crowdfunding platform is designed to raise $350 per student athlete on average, and their system completes 95% of the work. They've eliminated all financial risk with no upfront cost. For more information on E-Team Sponsor and to start fundraising today, visit eteamsponsor.com. In stoppage time, in the first half, Mount SAC up 1-0, and Mike Cepeda, Joe Hickey with you on today's coverage. And Joe, I think you're exactly right. ARC like to just get into the locker room at 1-0. They'll take what they can get here in terms of an attacking ball, a dangerous ball sent into the box. Generate some type of momentum offensively. Dangerous ball on the counter. Takedown in the box, no call made. They say play on, and that could have been disaster.
And that is some fantastic defending there from the substitute back in the center back position, number 12, Jason Kravchuk, just to hold that play up and wait for the double team to arrive. Because at least when the ball was received, there were acres of space there for Andrew Vasquez to run into and to try and take a one-on-one shot at Gerardo Perez Plata.
I mean, he just needed to let loose and see what would happen. I'm surprised he waited as long as he did. 5-hole there. A beauty. That's played by Verdi.
Little joy for the Beaver bench there.
Something to cheer about.
Well, the task has gotten just that much harder here. Galeana, one of the top performers here so far in the postseason. He had the game winner against Feather River late in the first round game, and then had the goal in the 5th minute that set the tone against Casumnas River in the third round game.
As Cardenas gives off. This might do it for the first half. Another ball through, this one going out of play. That'll do it. First half in the books, Mount SAC up 1-0 on ARC, and that 1-0 goal courtesy of
Anthony Vargas with that sliding finish, I believe. Or excuse me, Paul Iniguez, rather, number 12. That sliding finish on the ball in from Matt Palos.
And we go in at the half 1-0. You're watching 3C2A men's soccer semifinals here in the 3C2A 2021 edition. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to coverage of the 3C2A State Soccer Championship Finals semifinal number 4 here. Mount San Antonio College, the home standing side, the number 1 seed, up against the Cinderella of the tournament, American River College. Mount SAC will be happy to be in front, but ARC, given how much, or perhaps better said, how little they saw of the ball during the first half and how much difficulty they had creating opportunities, will be happy to be in this game. And as the old adage goes, it only takes a second to score a goal. Speaking of which, Mount SAC just about got one just as we came back on the air there. A corner kick deposited near the head of Andre Ramos guided that just to the right side. Comes a ball towards the half moon brought in by Jason Vargas over on the right side. Knocked away, and now looking to spring in the counterattack will be American River College. Yet again, difficulty just trying to produce any manner of long spell of possession for the Beavers so far. There was Ramos. Had a good chunk of the goal to try to fire at, but guided that just wide right after banging it more or less into the ground. Opportunity here. Iniguez, the man who scored the opener for the Mounties in the first half, gets it stuck in his feet, taken away here by ARC. Up the field they look to come. Number 7, the substitute, Miguel Aguirre, earning the free kick there with a little bit of work, and that's going to be a free kick opportunity for American River College to look to bomb one forward and see what sort of space they can find in this Mountie midfield or defense. Ball driven deep, chested down there at the edge of the 18-yard box by the 10, Roberto Carlos Plasencia. And a foul committed. So he looked to skitter around, and a collision there. Perhaps the foul given the way of American River simply for the fact that Damian Esparza comes away the worse for it, grasping at his face.
I think he caught one to the face.
Yeah, it did appear to be the case. There it is, yeah. Oh, okay, yeah, a little... I doubt any intent in that particular action from Plasencia, just kind of trying to get himself turned. But contact to the head, frequently penalized as such.
Yeah, they're going to bring the training staff on, and we'll go back and see it again. Play it back here for you shortly.
You wonder, given that level of apparent pain, if we're looking at a finger in the eye or something like that.
He catches him dead in the right eye.
Oof.
So I wonder if he might be. I wonder if he might be bleeding, because that's certainly right on the brow.
Yeah, just a question at that point of whether he got struck with the meat of the hand versus the knuckle or something like that.
Right.
Esparza in obvious pain there as he hits the deck.
For sure. Apologies for the late start. Bathrooms are not very close to the field, so I had to sprint over. And Joe Hickey picking us up on the call. Mount SAC in American River. Semifinal Friday in the 3C2A for men's and women's soccer. First game saw Mount SAC. Saw the ladies end their season in a loss to Hartnell. Hartnell moves on to Sunday.
And over on the other field, the Hartnell men leading 2-1 at the halftime break. We had actually, I think when you were telling me about the first goal, was as they were scoring their second one, another kind of goofy angle free kick from Marco Antonio Ruiz after Javier Espinal Pires had managed to nod home a corner kick in the 11th minute. El Camino did get one back before the break, though, there in the 27th. Andy Cabrera taking a bounding ball inside the box off of a half clearance and managing to deposit that home to get the Warriors back at least into that game. And if these two results hold, Mount San Antonio's men might get a chance to avenge their women in a final matchup against the Panthers of Hartnell.
Indeed. The women's finals already set. Cyprus will take on Hartnell after a win over Fresno City. That'll be the 10 a.m. game on Sunday here from Walnut. We'll have that coverage here for you on SoCalCollegeSports.com as well as BAOSN, Bay Area Online Sports Network. A shout out to Jim Petramilli who helms that firm and does a fantastic job up in the north. He's busy with soccer as well this week. Soccer championships for the women, Santa Clara.
Goodness gracious, what a ball that was over the top of the right side. Just not quite able to create anything from it. Here they come on the counter, though, with the Beavers.
And that one quickly put out. Andre Ramos defensively for the Mounties.
Yeah, that women's final, I think I mentioned just at the very, very end of our first telecast here, is actually going to be a matter of the season ending very much the way it began. Very first game of the season for Cyprus was against Hartnell.
That was one that they won.
Hartnell had played one game. It is. It's one of Hartnell's two losses. They lost those first two games against Clovis and Cyprus, and then have now gone 23 games unbeaten after this evening's
great ball.
Positive result. My goodness.
Late challenge. That's going to be a card. At least a free kick. Out either way, it's going to be Mountie possession. A pretty dangerous spot here, Joe.
That's the number 17, Oscar Cisneros, coming in with the sliding challenge, trying to get ball. A desperate situation because you do know that they've got the quality to put something in nasty from that position during the run of play. Of course,
yep.
Every bit is capable of doing it now. Cluster of 5 Mounties gathering over on the right side of the box. Standing over to Mendez, but taken by Iniguez over the top of the crossbar.
You guys have a camera right here, or is he the only cameraman?
Almost the exact same position, actually, that Marco Antonio Ruiz scored from off the free kick for Hartnell over at the other field.
Pretty dangerous spot there for Mount Sac, but they come away empty. And Perez Plata
hit.
Kicks it away.
Yeah, Perez Plata with a pretty demonstrative little bit of body language, trying to get his team to push a bit further forward before the goal kick. Although it didn't carry as far as I think he intended it to.
It's a moist evening here at Mount Sac, and ball certainly won't travel as far as it normally would under drier conditions. And we have had some dry conditions in the recent weeks, but tonight, pretty wet out. I hear the ESPN chime. You got a little update there for me, Joe?
I don't think that was me.
Oh, was it not?
No, I watch too many sporting events after the fact, so I can't have those. Lots of ESPN Plus recordings. Not to be discussing one of our competitors, obviously.
I wouldn't exactly call them a competitor. but certainly respect what they do. ARC with a chance. The flag is up. It looked like a player had fallen down.
Yeah, that's an interesting call there, because if that was for the man who's down, I mean, how much more passive could you be than being on your knees? And I don't think that the
We're going to play
11,
it
Kyle
back here.
Prusia out there at the left. Yeah, he's on. Prusia is definitely on side right there, and it looks like the flag is up for the man who was on the ground. That's a head scratcher.
Well, it is a head scratcher, and now it's possession ARC. And I wonder if they erred and maybe awarded this ball to American River.
Or perhaps they were playing advantage ahead of time and decided that it had evaporated after the ball got by Prusia. It's the best guess I have, because, yeah, if that was an offside flag, it makes very little sense. But
well, it was a whistle, stoppage in play, but now it's a free kick for the Beavers and an opportunity to put something in harm's way, if you will. Get on the scoreboard. Certainly a dangerous ball into the box. Headed out by Mount SAC. ARC maybe feeling something. That's a great ball. Oh, if he just takes that shot at one-timer, that's spelling trouble all day for Mount SAC, but instead they take away on possession. Here come the Mounties on the counter.
a little moment like that, the sort of thing that can get the Beavers to believe a little bit.
That's an interesting no call there. Really both players going after, but it certainly looked like Mountie player taking some liberty there. And certainly looked like a takedown, but they do not award it. Mounties still with possession. Joey, I feel like we're seeing signs of life offensively from the Beavers. And
yeah, I would absolutely concur. That last little incursion, they connected a few shorter passes. I think they maybe have been trying to go a little bit too long throughout the duration of the first half. Trying to get a few of them in a bit closer quarters and build a little more methodically.
looked like that one had gone beyond the back line. And indeed, that'll be the call. As Perez Plata will play it out. There is Gerardo. Certainly behoove the Mounties to put another one on the board before it starts to get interesting down the stretch. We certainly saw how important that extra goal at the end of stoppage time in the first game we had on for Mount SAC was for Hartnell, as it was Jacqueline Coronado connecting for the Mounties late in stoppage time and making things interesting in our first semifinal on the women's bracket.
And if you're Mount SAC, you even want that just to make sure that even if you do get through this with a 1-0 result, that you don't have to work as hard as you're going to have to in the final 20 minutes if
Exactly.
ARC smell blood. Next game coming up in just 2 days. That's a quicker turnaround than pretty much any other time of year.
Dangerous ball inside and taken by the Beavers. The Beavers have turned the tide somewhat in the second half in terms of time of possession. Thoroughly dominated in that first frame by the Mounties, but the Beavers starting to put together some momentum.
Yeah, it still might be roughly 60-40, even 65-35 in favor of the Mounties right now, but it was a lot closer to 75 or 80% possession in the first half for
Agreed.
Mount Sac.
Agreed. No official stats here for you, just the eye test. But hey, Joe, your eye better than most.
Well, and we even talked about it in the first game. Speaking of dominating possession, Mount San Antonio generally had more of the ball, it seemed, against Hartnell for large stretches of that game, too. Oh, there's a beautiful ball over the top. Oh,
Wow. We'll see that again. We'll have the replay for you.
was that Andre Ramos from the center back position, pushing up just a little bit, ladles this one over top of both defenders. Mendez able to get to it, just not quite able to guide it on target.
Yeah, there's no real foul there. There was some rumbling from the crowd wanting a foul, but Mendez, when he wasn't going to get that call, looked like he was maybe tripped up, not enough to draw the PK.
Just what does it do to you, though, as a defense when you see a center back pick up his head and pick out a ball like that?
Unbelievable. There's shades of another Juan Carlos that comes to mind for Brazil years ago. A master of set pieces, but also very key in putting balls on the dime. Set up that team, that unbelievable assembly of talent. Ronaldo, Rivaldo, Bebeto, Romario. You go back to some of those years. '94 World Cup.
I do feel like I missed out just a little bit there. 2006 was when my love affair with the beautiful game began.
Am I just that old? No way. I just hit the fourth level this year.
Nope, you and me both. Just I took my sweet time. I was a baseball, football, basketball guy for many, many, many years, and then that semester, that particular summer, I was a graduate student at Cal Berkeley. My boss was out of town for the entire group stage of the World Cup, and so a bunch of us used to go to the Bears Lair pub on the campus of UC Berkeley after working for about 3 hours in the morning, watch whatever game was on, pint of Guinness, slice of pizza. It was idyllic. By the end of it, I was hooked.
It's quite the culture. They make you watch Green Street Hooligans as an initiation. Do you know the movie?
I am not familiar with that. I should fix that, though, it sounds like.
It's a bit of what you're talking about in terms of being immersed in the culture. Maybe a little bombastic and violent, but still it's worth the watch if you're a soccer fan, that's for sure.
Well, at Berkeley, we had a lot of mechanical engineering and electrical engineering students from Italy. And so that was, I think, also part of it. I'd studied that as a college student for about 3 years. So I got to use my Italian and got to learn all sorts of colorful words to describe and lament soccer. And it's a very good time, and got to celebrate with them over at the Bears Lair.
Is there
Whistle
anything,
at Zidane,
is there anything
all
better
that
than
stuff.
colorful words in a foreign language? in a pub setting?
Oh yeah, it's
living the dream.
It's just the way to be.
Oh yeah.
Oh yes.
20 minutes gone by in this second half. The score remains 1-0 off the foot of Paul Iniguez. ARC trying to put something together, get something going offensively, but the defense today for for the Mounties has been terrific. There's a chip ball nearly getting past the back line of the defense for the Mounties. That one from far out, deflected out by Mount Sac.
And again, that looped ball falling to the person that you most want it to if you are a Mountie fan, Andre Ramos, the brick wall there in the center.
ARC wanted a handball. That doesn't look like they're going to get it. And handballs were a bit of controversy in our first match here, Joe.
Yeah, I was about to say, Mount Sac fans getting a little tired of that.
Well, we're only calling it how we see it, and we saw a couple of them that should have went the way of the Mounties. Certainly would have factored into the end result in that one. But the men looking to avenge the women in our second semifinal on the West Field. One of 4 games being played today at Mount San Antonio College. We have coverage of all of it on SoCal College Sports and BAOSN, Bay Area Online Sports Network. Again, the defense terrific for Mount Sac.
I think Thomas Chandler there standing up Kyle Perusia after he'd already beaten a couple of players on the dribble.
Nice ball down the side on that far side. Mount Sac. That'll be a goal kick. See if we can get a score update from the far field. Is that 4-1? No, 4-2? Well, now I have to look at the scoreboard.
Yes, have our camera man go just a little bit wider when we come up here for the goal kick. I'll let you know.
That's 2-1 Hartnell on top of El Camino. Hartnell got things started off with the first 2, and then El Camino gets on the board towards the end of the first half.
Must be a nice big serif on the 1 there to have you thinking it might have been a 4.
Well, it's a great turnout here in Walnut for both teams. Obviously, you expect the turnout to be big with the Mounties hosting both men and women teams in it. Quick flick. Not finding its proper destination for the Beavers.
ARC fans enjoying the Cinderella run here. This is going to be the longest trip for anybody coming down to Walnut from up north.
It's a ball that gets through on the far side. ARC at the edge of the box. Trying to make a play, and the defense there again for the Mounties cleared. Now maybe starting their counter. Nope. Back and forth we go. It's a seesaw affair here in the second half, Joe.
Yeah, and it really feels like what we just saw right there has been the difference for ARC in the second half. Throughout the first half, an awful lot of Mount Sac swallowing up ARC possession as soon as they would get it. The Beavers giving the Mounties a little bit of their own medicine here in the second half. They've been able to end those counterattacks a bit more effectively, there's the pressure right there coming back from the attacking line. Sliding challenge, I think they're from, is that Chris Alvarez or Zach Dye?
And it looks like we have an injured player for Mount San Antonio College, and it's going to be
Anthony Vargas trotting off under his own power, though. Seems to be okay.
Kind of late challenge. Shout out to the official ball of the 3C2A Select. We look to have a representative on for Select, the ball manufacturer, customizing a ball for the 3C2A in this event. First time in the history of the 3C2A. Joe, you gonna ready a pint of Guinness for the Sunday finals?
That sounds about right.
How about a mini keg?
So it is gonna be 10 a.m. So maybe a little bit early there for the women's final. But
well, I mean, it'll be 1 p.m. on the East Coast. what time would it be in
always
Italy?
5 o'clock somewhere.
There you go.
Oh, Italy. It'd be 6 p.m.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, it's happy hour there.
You can see if one of your Italian mechanical engineering brethren can get on from your Cal days.
So I do have the Men in Blazers coffee mugs that are built specifically to be the volume to hold a Guinness pint. from one of those nitro bottles. So
That's pretty strong.
I don't think I've actually used it for that purpose before. Usually just the coffee.
Well, coffee will be a must come Sunday for us. We'll be having a pretty early call time. I imagine probably 7 a.m.-ish, 10 a.m. game. Women's final at 10 a.m., 2 p.m. for the men. Just to apprise everyone of that information for those who may be watching this live broadcast of the men's semifinal. Mount SAC and American River in 3C2A playoff soccer.
It does appear, if I'm not mistaken, that the scoreboard over there now says 3-1. I think Hartnell may have consolidated their advantage.
You might be right. Let's indeed. Ramiro Sanchez, the 72nd minute, padding the lead for the Panthers.
It's a big day there for Hartnell College then.
Indeed. Poised to have both the men and the women advance to Sunday's finals. Some substitutions on the far side.
Yeah, for the women, a chance at state title ever. For the men, they last won it in 2013.
Nice ball in the box. Dangerous here. Mount SAC slows things down. Trying to get some numbers forward. Play it back.
Little look at the substitute there, Giovanni Gloria, freshman midfielder number 25 from Malmo, Sweden.
Mendez has that one poked away. Terrific defense from the Beavers. That ball intercepted. Mount SAC now with possession. Garcia plays it back to Gutierrez. Gets it back. Looking for a run. And that one's just a little bit too much on it.
Good anticipation there from Perez Plata. He was off his line pretty much immediately.
Yeah, we'll go back and see that here. That's a ball that could have been trouble and read beautifully by Perez Plata. Substitutions for American River. I believe we'll see a couple starters come back in for the Beavers. And Verdi back out, and here's Mount SAC with a through ball. Castro had it, and ARC able to get it out past the goal line. It'll be a corner kick for the Mounties.
Verdi attentive right there when that ball came loose. Don't want to mess around with that. You give up the corner kick.
Castro. And that could have been big trouble for the Beavers. But they do settle on a corner kick. Mounties fired in. Bit of a low ball. Likely wanted a little bit more air on it. That one on the doorstep, but nothing doing. Take a look at the replay. Verdi there to cover. Joe, you'll be on the call of the finals with Jeff Stoynoff on Sunday. Mendez wins that ball back. Are we going to have a yellow card call on Mendez?
Wouldn't be the first time.
First time today?
Well, first time today, yes, but he's got 6 of those on the season. Had to miss one of the playoff games as a result of yellow card accumulation.
That's two players going after it there, and does indeed look like Mendez will be issued a yellow card, and we see it pop up on the live stats.
He was a little late on a challenge earlier in that build-up, too.
Yeah, 3 shots today, 2 on goal for Mendez. I wonder if the player in the situation maybe played a factor into the resulting card.
Mendez certainly somebody with well-known aggression, particularly among South Coast officials, and we may well have some of those home officials involved in this game.
That ball played back in, Verity. Verity kicks it out. Looks like he was held out. Are we going to have a substitution here? No, we'll have a throw-in for Mount SAC. Gutierrez will throw it in. That one goes off of what looked to be Garcia, so ARC now with possession. Bit ahead of steam there, and the Beavers looking to muster something up here. With about 15 minutes remaining in this one.
And as we said, the longer ARC stay close in this, the more they're likely to believe that they can get that last touch to finally fall their way and pull this game level.
Castro and Mendez with yellow cards in this one for the Mounties. Dye and Cisneros with yellows for the Beavers. Been a pretty clean game thus far. It has been rough, but I wouldn't categorize anything as dirty.
No, I haven't seen anything particularly suspect.
That ball put into a dangerous spot, looking for a header in the box, looking for a redhead, and not going to find it. And instead, that's a beautiful move by, it looked like Castro, and Castro has that one stolen. Meanwhile,
Right back onto it, though.
Castro takes it away, has it on the near side. It looked like that one went off of Castro. It's still in play. That spun back in, but throw in for ARC, and Verity wanted to take it a little closer to the goal, and the referee would have liked.
Looks like Riley Wilm will take the long walk around.
Yep.
His sister, in fact, also a member of the American River College Beavers women's team, coached by Paul Arianes.
Oh, that's a throw in that I don't think it ever made it into play. Does he get a do-over? Is that how that works?
More or less, yeah. It kind of almost treated as if the player had just dropped it off for a teammate to take the throw instead.
And we have a lively crowd on the other end. 4-1 now. Hartnell pouring it on in the other semifinal. There we see a foul. That's an easy call. Going to go Iniguez. It was Iniguez with a goal.
Oh,
Verdi sends this one into Corona.
so we were talking about Italian earlier. The word they use when that happens is they say that was shot alle stelle, to the stars.
The best my Italian gets is after watching Luca with the kids. Certainly looks like Mount SAC trying to kill a little clock here. There's another. Is that Verdi that's coming? No. Someone's coming off with an injury for ARC. We'll try to get that number here for you. And Wilm back on after a brief blow. Throwing on the far side for the Mounties. And El Camino getting absolutely thumped by Hartnell and the Panthers. Good day for that program. Mounties, meanwhile,
Opportunity here to extend the lead.
Looking for some insurance. They're going to get it! Iniguez again! My goodness.
Edward Castro.
Oh, excuse me, Castro.
I believe that's the newly inserted Brandon Pineda on the assist there, the number 6.
We'll see it again.
Flying up the right wing.
Just like that, after a throw-in. A little bit of daylight on the far side.
And again, it's that pressure to take the ball
down
away.
The middle. And Ed Castro gets an insurance goal for the Mounties. They now lead it 2-0.
So my mistake, not the number 6, but the number 9. Travis Piseno there on the feed. And Gabriel Arredondo, the one doing the hard work in the midfield stripe to take that ball off of an ARC defender. And the Beavers fought the good fight here tonight, kept it tight, kept it within a goal right up here until the final 6 or 7 minutes. But it's going to be an awfully hard thing to get back into this one now.
Indeed.
Mounties with a foot in the final.
Ed Castro with the coffin nail goal.
And just the spatial awareness there, too, to recognize he's got the goalkeeper hedging towards the near post. And so to open the hips there, hit that with the instep of the left foot and deposit it into the left side of the net. Just clinical stuff.
Well, it was Mount SAC who made things interesting after falling behind 2-0. Corner kick now for the Beavers.
Yeah, American River with substantially less time to try to make it interesting, but
that's a fact.
Set pieces are the way.
Well, it got interesting in stoppage time in the second half. That one headed out. I'm going to see another corner. Oh, it looked like it went off of the head of Thomas Chandler. And it's that Wilm.
Appears to be the 11, Kyle Prusia, to put this one into play from the right.
Prusia. Well, there's a whistle on the play, and I wonder if maybe some players weren't set up properly. We'll redo the corner. Another great ball. That one in. ARC cuts the lead in half.
Stop me if you've heard this story before.
Is that Verdi?
Rising up there looks to be the number 12,
Yeah, 12.
Jason Kravchuk, the substitute defender.
Puts one in. ARC cuts it to a goal. And right after Mount SAC had just scored number 2 on the evening, the Beavers respond in a huge way off a set-piece corner kick. Prussia to Kravchuk.
And Prusiev, his 7th assist on the season for Kravchuk, his 2nd goal. This in just his 2nd appearance in the playoffs. He played in the first round, but had not been active since.
Throw in on the near side for ARC. Does not find its mark. Instead, it's ARC trying to thwart this one away. Ball gets away. And Perez Plata sends it the other way. Takes a nice ARC bounce. Collision in midair. This goes off of Mount SAC. It'll be a throw-in. Sense of urgency for the Beavers.
A little surprised, honestly, by the decision to take that rip straight at the goalkeeper from 25 yards out. This is really that time you want to get yourself into the corner. I guess another example of Mount SAC's approach. Best defense, good offense.
Peppering the attacking plane here are the Beavers, and players forward looking for the equalizer. Headed into a bad spot for Mount SAC. And that's a great job in goal by Cardenas.
Hardly really had to call his name today, but it's one of the key things to do, especially when you're on a good world-beaten team, is be ready to be called upon in the 88th, 89th minute when you haven't really had much to do all day.
Ball that could have been trouble, and Cardenas gobbles it up. More substitutions. We see a couple of players stretching on the pitch for ARC. Jacob Cardenas. No saves today. It's been 4 saves in the books for Gerardo Perez Plata, but 2 goals allowed.
Yeah, he and the very back line of ARC have had to do some serious work to just keep this game within range for as long as they did, and now they've got it back in range, but very little time to try to find that equalizer.
Only takes a moment.
Well, of course, the wild thing is you feel a lot more likely to do it down 2-1 than you did down 1-0.
That's a fact. You saw one go in. What do they say about great shooters in the NBA?
Yes, exactly.
They just keep shooting. As soon as they see one go in, they can go on a tear. Now, you being from the North know all about that. You're probably a Warriors fan.
Oh, yes. It's my one Bay Area team. Grew up in Baltimore, but that's the one team that got the hooks in me right around We Believe season.
All right. Throw in Verdi on the near side. That one played off of Mount SAC. Verdi with a throw in. And you see the energy level for ARC decidedly different from what it was about 5 minutes ago. And Mount SAC will have to match that down the stretch. They want to punch their ticket to Sunday. Because the Beavers, they're trying to hold some hotel rooms here in the IE for a Sunday date themselves.
Yeah, you might have expected them to drop their head on the second goal.
That's a great ball in the middle of the box. Cleared out momentarily. Verdi with a high boot sends that one off of a Mountie player. Gerardo Perez Plata playing up. gets that one back in to an attacking spot for the Beavers. And the Beavers are just knocking on the door. Mount
It's
Sac
a good
looking to
ball in an
counter
interesting
here.
spot.
It's a takedown, but possession doesn't change. No whistle. Verity now on the near side. Verity sends this one to the edge of the box. It'll be taken in play by ARC. Look at Perez Plata playing up as much as he is. We're in stoppage time.
Pretty deep stoppages, but we have had a handful of
Stoppage
injuries
time
to deal with.
goals. Yeah.
So,
yeah,
that's
I
it.
would say at least 4 or 5 minutes remaining here. Oh, best offense sometimes this season has been, best defense has been a great offense. And we see Mount Sac ratchet it up there on a counter. They want to call in the box. They're not going to get it. They're letting him play just a little bit. You like to see that. Will with a nice move. Circles back over his right shoulder. Plays it into the middle of the field. Beavers with possession.
It sounds like the triple whistle has sounded over the other field, so Hartnell officially awaiting the winner of our game here.
That one a dangerous ball, and Cardenas comes up, makes a play on it.
And of course, we'll be in no hurry to get back up.
He might take a nap. Prusia trying to win possession for the Beavers. Instead, Iniguez converged on defensively. He's fouled. See the chance, and hear the chance of ARC here in the stands for the Beavers. Cinderella looking to extend her curfew. The Mounties with other thoughts. In the driver's seat, leading it 2-1. Gerardo Perez Plata. From the half moon. That's a late challenge and a whistle. Back is turned. Joe, I don't know if you saw that, but the back was clearly turned from the head referee. Players up quickly. There's a takedown. They're really letting him play out there. It's physical. Prusia on the far side, looking to center things up. A dangerous ball into the middle of the box. Kicked out. There's the whistle. The clock strikes midnight for ARC. They go down to the Mounties 2-1 in the men's semifinal.
My goodness, what an effort here in the second half from the Beavers, though, and a crazy response, crazy energetic response to that goal going down 2-0. And glad to at least have a good time here. Made it an awfully interesting finish for a game that looked like Mount Sac was trying to put it to bed with all their might.
All right, great. Let's see if we can take it back to the goals here. I believe this is off of the I believe this was the goal.
That's Edward Castro there, sort of setting things off the assist from Travis Pisano.
But then off the corner kick, very next play.
Rapid response there. Prusia, gorgeous ball straight to the head of Jason Kravchuk.
But ARC would get no more, and Mount Sac punches their ticket to championship Sunday. The Mounties will take on Hartnell. The men and women advance for Hartnell. The women will take on Cyprus.
And a chance to see a little bit of history there. Juan Carlos Sanchez will be looking to break his tie right now with Foothill's George Avakian for the most titles in 3C2A men's soccer history. He's got 5 already, looking for 1 for the thumb in what will be his 9th state final since 2009.
A valiant effort by the Beavers falls short. The Mounties move on. (2-1), the final over American River. Thank you for watching, everybody. We'll see you on Sunday, 10 a.m., the women's final, 2 p.m., the men's final. For Joe Hickey. Joe, first off, just a tremendous job by you and filling in today on short notice. We really appreciate your time and your efforts here on SoCal College Sports and Bay Area Online Sports Network.
Certainly a joy to do it. Looking forward to being back on Sunday. Should be a fun afternoon.
For Joe Hickey and everyone here at SoCalCollegeSports.com, signing off. Again, your final 2-1 Mount SAC over American River. Thank you for watching, everybody.